Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this guy Rock Mitchell. Welcome back to another episode of the Social Advice Podcast with me, your host Rock Mitchell, and the co-host, the one and only
Jermaine Gibbs.
I call him Jimmy Gibbs, ladies and gentlemen. That's like his rap name, like he from New York or somewhere. Jimmy Gibbs.
Yo. Mic check.
So this podcast, as you guys know, we back for the top of the year. Jimmy is our new host. Me and Jimmy, if you don't know, me and Jimmy are business partners. And we have a studio and some other businesses here in Baltimore. And we wanted to bring y'all our life experiences, not just our life experiences, but tips and tricks of how to operate in a creative business, a creative space. We've traveled all over the world together with nonprofit work, with creative work, with documentary work. Currently, we both serve as creatives for Black Menswear. I'm the creative director, and he is the chief photographer. So all of that cool stuff that you see online, that's all Jimmy Gibbs. Jimmy Gibbs. And so we wanted to bring a new format. We're actually in our studio right now. You can see some set. Jimmy, he's looking that way because it's a screen right in front of us, so he's not looking in the camera. But we want you to get accustomed to hearing and looking at us on the YouTube channel and listening to the tips and tricks. We're going to be bringing on some dope people to talk about business, talk about taking your brand, taking your life to the next level, and just, giving you a whole bunch of dope stuff. You feel what I'm saying? A whole bunch of dope stuff. Currently, we're going to do got your phone on you?
Yep.
Let's do the kick cam. Gotta do the kick cam. All right, kick cam. Let's see, where's your, all right, I'm gonna put this in the video. The kick cam of the day. Me, I'm rocking your classic butters with the zip away, like khakis. And Jimmy got on what are these called?
Some ones.
He got on some ones. So our thing is we do like nice sneakers. We do like very nice sneakers, and so when we start this off, you'll get the kick cam. We always got some fire or something on. Jumping right in, Jimmy, tell them a little about yourself. So let me just tell you this: we recorded this podcast once before, and recording it once before, like we decided we was going to do this new setup, so we had to actually start recording a second time. But Jimmy has a wealth of experience, just like in so much stuff, but he's a master photographer, master business owner, and I want you to just tell people about yourself, bro, so they can get more accustomed from a podcast world. I know they know you all 60 or 70, where you at, 70,000?
Somewhere around there.
On Instagram, they know you from that, but like the people that listen to podcasts, they may not know who you are. So just like introduce yourself.
So my name is Jermaine Gibbs. Like you said, I got my hands on a lot of stuff. Most people know me as a photographer / photojournalist. I curate travel experience through the continent of Africa for the last 5 to 6 years. Currently have work in the Smithsonian and the newest exhibition they have up there that's called Resilience. I am the founder of Hope Missions, and big announcement that we are officially broke ground today on digging for the school. So this process will take about a week or so, and then we'll be going into the foundation, building the foundation, and you got to follow the journey for the next 8 to 12 months of the school going up. So that's kind of who I am, a little snippet of who I am. But most people, like I said, know me in the photography world, but I'm heavy in the philanthropy world, teaching, traveling, those kind of, and a little bit of style. All those.
Oh no, you're a stylish guy, bro. You're a stylish guy. So the first time I went to Africa was with Jermaine, and we built the well there in were we in Kumasi or was that Accra? Kumasi. We were in Kumasi, and we took 2 tons of clothes and books and stuff, and we trekked back into the bushland, and we consecrated a well that they're still using to this day, right? And that was like let's talk about that, because that was like the first time some of them had ever had fresh.
Yeah, it was crazy to hear people say that, and these people that's in their late 20s, early 30s, the first time in their life having an experience in clean drinking water in their village. It's insane. Like, we take this stuff for granted, but I've seen people going 5 to 10 miles just to get clean water, and that's just talk about in East Africa. Sometimes when the drought season, you're talking about some people walking a day or two just to get dirty water. So to be able to go there and bless people with clean drinking water, and it's still operational, we're still constantly checking in, making sure that it's filtered. it's serving about 300 to 350 people. Yeah, that's a big thing.
Yeah, and that's funny because when we were trekking back to go and actually, open the well and all that stuff, remember we saw the lady who had the big gasoline, like the Pennzoil container, the yellow junk. Y'all know what I'm talking about when you get oil for your car from AutoZone or whatever, Sunset Check AutoZone. She was filling that up with dirt water that like an ox was drinking out of too. Like, so it's crazy. And the one thing I love about the work is that, we go and do these things, but like you actually take other people, like other creators there so they can see it for themselves. And so hence the name Hope Mission, which actually stands for Help Open People's Eyes. That was real thoughtful.
But it wasn't even planned.
It wasn't even planned. It's Hope Missions, right? And so that's a lot of our work. For us, it's impact. And that shifts us into the conversation that we want to have today is finance over impact. Finance over impact. And this is for my creatives, this is for my business owners, this is for all of y'all. Finance over impact. Which one is it? Do you want finance? Do you want impact work? Do you want impact work? Do you want finance? Or can you have both?
You can definitely have both. But I think where a lot of us mess up,
I'm gonna get my phone.
We think that if we get the impact, there is no finance. But in real world, and if you're a Christian or if you read the Bible or you know anything, if you, like for instance, go and building a well, what benefit do we get that from that financially? None. Actually, it cost us because we paid our own flight. We paid all of our
and it was just $10,000 just to do the well.
Exactly. But the impact is 350 people having clean water, and this is year number 5 that they're still drinking from that well.
Listen, that's going on. Like that's going on our record with God.
Exactly. So when you do things like that, it's in God's word that when you take care of the least of the people, you will never want for anything. And I'm a true testament to that because telling you, since I started doing that work in Ghana and just in Africa in general, my life did a 360. So being able to help and bless people will open up opportunities and put you in rooms that you could have never got into on your own. So let's always take that focus off the finance and put it on the impact, because when you're doing impactful things, the finances will come.
Yo, for sure. I mean, like I remember, just being in Africa and, seeing on the road, we did this tour, the road to Cape Coast, and just seeing our people, man, even down to, and you can tell us about your first time going to Africa, but like when I went with you the first time, and the most surreal moment is, and I wrote this as a forward in your latest book, which we'll talk about, just when they open that door and you're standing on that ladder about to walk down and the people say, "Welcome home, my brother." Like, that's like one of those. Did you have that moment?
Oh, yeah. And people always ask me, like, what was your feeling the first time you went to Africa? And I tell them it's a feeling that you cannot put into words. It's one of those things that literally you feel like being out in a 30-degree weather and somebody coming to put a warm blanket on you. It just gives you this warm sensation like, I've been missing this for all these years, and people have been telling me it's the zoo, it's this and that. And I'm like, until you actually go and experience it for yourself, there's no place like going to Africa, because you're literally their goal is to make you feel at home and to want to make you to bring your family back.
That's everybody. And like, you know how when you go to like somewhere like New York or LA or Atlanta and you never been there before, it's like you got your head on a swivel. Like, I don't know if somebody trying to get me. I don't know what things are. You kind of discombobulated trying to find your way and all of that. It ain't like that. And like, you don't know where anything is at, but you don't feel the like somebody trying to get you, especially in Ghana. It felt like super homey.
Yeah, definitely. And the crazy part is like, here you could put something to the GPS and it guides you right there. We're here in Ghana, you go on a dirt road, ain't no street signs, ain't no GPS. You literally in the hands of somebody else. And most time you don't have phone service. So you really trust in somebody. So it's really one of the places I always tell people, like, people like, I have trust issues, I have faith issues. And I say, no, you really don't. And these are people who have been with me on trips. I said, you trusted me to take you almost 10,000 miles away from your home, where if anything happened to you, nobody would be able to say, oh, they such and such, let's go retrieve them. No. So you don't have trust issues. You don't have fear issues, because I've taken you down dirt roads. Car have broke down on us, and we don't have no clue how we're going to get this car fixed, because it ain't just calling AAA.
It ain't no AAA.
Like, literally, the driver got out, went in the trunk, got his tool bag, and got under there and fixed it. In 30 minutes, we was back on the road.
We was on the road back from Cape Coast. Now, if y'all don't know, Cape Coast is where all the slaves left from. It's the door of no return. That's where they housed the slaves, or the enslaved people. Excuse me to my people who know the right terms. The enslaved Africans before they were put on ships and sent over to the Americas. And so we're there, crying and having a time, because we ain't never experienced this before. He has, but not us, right? And so we're on the way back. We're in this van that he rented. And out of nowhere, the clutch goes out in this van, because everybody over there drives stick shift. The clutch goes out, and they speaking in Twee, and we're like, yo, we're gonna be stuck out here forever. Out of nowhere, a dude rolls up with a brand new clutch and puts a clutch in on the side of the road. That was nuts.
Yeah, it's just, one thing I can say about the Africans, their level of faith is just unremarkable.
Do you think that's where you got some of the faith? Because you're a crazy faith kind of guy.
Oh, yeah. So I always tell people, like, going to Africa completely changed my life. And one of the biggest things, my first time there, I was there for 30 days. So I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to lie. The first 3 days was rough, because when they showed me where I was going to be sleeping, I was like, just the floor with a mat. Ain't no air conditioning, ain't no water. All the things
ain't no
I was
Wi-Fi.
accustomed to was stripped away from me. But after standing on a balcony and looking over, because I'm literally standing in the village. So you see people like just literally standing outside of their home that's made out of dirt, washing up out of a bucket, and this, not having water, it humbles you really, really quick. So I think, like, by day 4, I almost felt like, okay, let me really submerge myself in this so I can really understand and have a better idea of what it feels like to be living like this on a regular basis. So being there for 30 days, like, it literally changed my life forever, because I learned how to live with what you have and make that work. And not complaining, because I'm not gonna lie, I used to complain a whole lot before I went to Africa. Since I've came back from Africa, it's no such thing as complaining, because I can always think back that these people don't have water, they're drinking out of a swamp, they don't have electricity, they don't have food,
and they singing praises.
And they at 5 a.m. every morning, you hear people out there singing and praying. So that right there will get you in a place where, like, I need to get my head together, because I have no reason to complain, because at the end of the day, I'm going back home. I have air conditioner. I have Wi-Fi. I have a vehicle. I have money in my bank account. Why am I complaining again?
And that's crazy, because, I remember we were in this house. I don't know where you were getting these places for us to stay. Like, we was in this house and we were sharing a room, me, you, and RJ. And like at 5 o'clock in the morning, so y'all remember, like, what's the show, the Whoville, and when they in the marching band and you just boom 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 boom, right? And at 5 o'clock in the morning, in this random house in this random town we were staying in, it was a band going down the street, because what was happening? What was
So they were heading to a funeral. So that's like their procession to a funeral, because they don't have hearses and all that stuff. So they literally was out there marching from the village they was in until the place where the gravesite was. So that's like a tradition there. Everybody's in black, or either black and red, and they start about 5 o'clock in the morning, because it depends. You may be marching for an hour just trying to get to that burial site.
And that And the reason that stuck out to me, because it was one other thing that led to that, was this like spirit of service that they have in Africa that's different than what we have here. Like, and we'll get back to our conversation about impact. But when we got to that house, that little compound we were staying in, the dude asked us for our shoes. And he didn't tell us why he wanted our shoes. He took all our shoes and he cleaned all of our shoes all night. And it was about 5 or 6 of us. And he cleaned our shoes. And when we came back, let me tell you, I had some mesh Nike Huaraches. You know how those Huaraches that met like, and I'm walking around in the dirt. These Huaraches look like I had just got them when he was done with them. He didn't ask for no money. He didn't ask for anything. Oh, y'all staying here? Cool. Give me y'all shoes. I want to take care of those for y'all. The spirit of service. And so that leads me back to impact. Have you found that going to Africa has made you more cognizant or conscious of, all right, I got to do work that makes sense to the community and to the culture over just always trying to get a dollar?
Definitely. And I think that's one of the biggest things, because before I went to Africa, philanthropy and all that stuff, I mean, I was accustomed to somebody asked me something to give it to them, but it wasn't like I thought about it. And I really think now when somebody asks me for something, I just give it to them, regardless of if they on drugs or all that, because at the end of the day, I'm not the judge. I don't know how they got in that situation or whatever, but it definitely opens you up to wanting to serve and wanting to help, because once you start really opening your eyes up to everything that's around you, because sometimes I think we just so busy in our own world that it's almost like when you see the horses going down the street, they have the things over their eyes.
Blinders.
So they only see but so much. But once you go and you start exploring these different countries and seeing how people live, those blinders fall off. And you start paying attention to everything that's around you, the people's around you, and you're trying to figure out, how can I help? How can I make a change? How can I make some type of impact? So I think that's one of the big things. So I can definitely say going to Ghana first, but now I've been to 5 other African countries. One thing I can say through all these countries in Africa, they make you feel like you're at home. They make you feel like a brother. And they just want you to feel like you don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to want from anything. That's all you got to do is ask, and we're here to help and serve you.
What's your favorite African country?
Ooh, so I'm gonna have to say Ghana, because I've been there so many times. Like this year alone, we'll be going there twice. So at the end of this, it'll be 7 times going there.
Yo, it's funny. We were on a bus from. So when you come to Africa, typically you'll go into Accra first, and then you'll get a red bus or whatever to
the VIP
bus. VIP bus to Kumasi or the different regions. And like, this guy is such a big deal in Africa that we're getting on the VIP bus and we're pulling off, and the guy says, hold the bus, hold the bus, hold the bus. And this guy gets on the bus with a huge painting of, was it you?
It was a picture of the picture that you took. It was a picture of me hanging out a bus, looking over my shoulder.
That's a classic picture. I took that with an iPhone, bro. And that we had just taken that 2 or 3 days, 2 days before, and he already got it blown up, beautifully matted, beautifully put on the frame, the whole situation, and came and presented and didn't want anything. All he said is like, I want to come to America one day. If I come, would you help me? And you said, yeah, of course I help you. Yo, that's service. That's this sense of selflessness that if we're going to grow as a community, that we have to have. I was listening to, one of my favorite people is Gary Vaynerchuk. Shout out Gary V. And I was listening to, he wrote the book Jab, Jab, Hook. And in that, he was kind of explaining in this video I was watching the other day, was that the problem is people want to jab, they want to give, but then they do that so they can get from that hook, versus giving with no expectation. And I think for me, that's my thing. If I'm ever giving anybody anything, you may have the world already, but I'm not giving that to you so you can give anything back to me. I'm giving it from a place of, I want to give, I want to sow, I want to love, I want to be a benefit. How have you found giving to like, has that been reciprocated in your life in some kind of way where you've given, and instead of asking, people just begin to just give you things?
So I think when I really started giving on a different level, and I'm just not talking about just money, I'm talking about my time, blood, sweat, and tears, it opened up the door of unmatched favor. The favor that I have on my life is just unreal. And anybody in my close circle know, like,
he got the most favor I've ever seen in my life.
Like anything I want, ask, or pray for, God just make it happen.
Don't you know, like you can go your whole life and never win the lottery or never win anything or be in a sweepstakes and never win? Like, this guy, life is built around, I don't know how it is, it's built around favor. It's like he's a winner, like a winner. Like, and I trust him because y'all know me. I was a marketing exec. I was an account exec for Fortune 100. Like, I was doing real well. I still am, praise God. But in talking to him, I said, bro, do you think I should quit my job and just like us do full-time like creative work? And he was like, you should have been quit your job. What gave you the knowing to be able to tell me that? Because you knew I had a wife, you know I had kids, and you knew I was making great money. So like, what made you be like, you know what, dude, just come on?
Well, because by watching how you moved, and I could tell that you loved what you was doing, but for some reason there was something that was telling you it was time to go and start your own thing. But because you were so committed, I think that you're one of those people that when you start a project, I'm not walking away from this project until it's 100% finished. Even if I'm not getting my pockets lined or anything, I started this, I need to finish it. But I can also sense that God was telling you, son, you've done amazing. You've put in the work. Let's take this thing to the next level. Let me open up a door for you so that you can provide for your family and set your own schedule. Because I think one of the things that I kept seeing was almost like a burden where you have to do all these hours and somebody just pulling you all these different kind of directions, and they wasn't giving you your flowers. So I seen that, and I could tell it was not only frustrating to you, but I could tell it was starting to frustrate your wife. And when I start seeing that, I was like, oh God, this something got to change, because this is just an accident waiting to happen. Because what's going to happen is either A, you're just going to completely walk away, or B, that you're going to say, you know what, I've tried my best to work with you, and you're gonna confront the person and just give it to them like they need to list, like it need to be said to them. But because the position that person is in, nobody wants to step up to the plate and actually tell them the way they need to be told. So I felt those two things happening. So I was like, okay, God, how can I help this situation? What am I going to do? And it was just one of those things that God just said, sit back. It's about to unfold. So when you said that, I was like, oh, God heard my prayer. So it's about to happen. And then when you was like, no, I'm setting a date, this is the day I'm walking away, I was happy because it was a win. And sometimes we think a win is all about us. It's not about us. One thing that I've learned living this life for 46 years is the life I'm living is not about me. It's about all the people that I can impact, all the people that I can help along the way, some people that you may just say one thing that can completely change them and stop them from committing suicide.
For sure.
Sometimes we don't think about these things, but this is the life that we actually living in. So I think that once you did that, God just started opening up doors that were just far beyond your imagination. And this just the beginning phase. He gave you the first year just to see, okay, is my son going to stay humble? Is my son going to bless other people? Is my son going to chase the money, or is he going to take on assignments that's going to be impactful, which will in turn be able to him to live the way that he used to live in, so he's don't feel like he's downgrading because he's just starting out on his own.
Right. And that's what I think not just me, but our listeners had to realize. Sometimes it's not going to be the money. Sometimes it's really going to be God's trying to bless somebody else, and he going to use you to do it. Because like when we were sitting at that table and I was asking you like, Jay, what you thinking, man? Like I need your impact. And it wasn't just you. It was me, you, and our other partner. And I was like, what y'all think? And they was like, yo, you gotta rock and roll. Like, you too talented. And that's what I want to tell people on listening to this podcast. You're talented. You're gifted. You're too talented to be stressed, because stress, for me, it kills my creativity. Anxiety kills like, I become non-responsive because it's like, yo, this is really hard to deal with. So I knew I needed a business manager. Like, I knew I had to have Coach T. Like, I knew that, you know what I mean? And so, and I learned a lot from watching you, because like the doors, like, and I want you to tell the story and we'll end the podcast because we're coming up on our 30 minutes, but impact over finance, or finance over impact. Tell us the story of how you ended up in the Smithsonian for the second. This is the second time you've been in the Smithsonian.
Second time. So the first time, I literally was just at, I don't want to say at the right place at the right time, but in my mind, there was the riots happening in Baltimore. And I could have been like, okay, let me find the news publications that I can go shoot for and get the bag. Or this is history. I need to be out here documenting history. And I chose to go and document history. And I would just happen to be at a place and somebody tapped me on my shoulder and asked, are you a real photographer, or are you just somebody out here just taking pictures? And I told them, no, I was a real photographer. Gave him my card and thought nothing of it. 2 weeks later, I get an email. Hey, I looked through your work. You gave me a card today at Mondawmin. I've been doing some research, Googling you, looking through your website.
Mondawmin is a mall very, very close to where the Freddie Gray riots happened.
And he's like, I would love, me and another curator would love to set up a meeting with you so we can see some of the images, because I don't see any of the images from the riot on your website. And because I didn't want to put stuff out there, because I felt in my spirit that it was bigger than just posting on social media. And I sat on those images, and then I scrolled down to the bottom and I seen it said it was the curator from the Smithsonian. And I said, this must be some host or somebody joking around. And I responded back, and then they responded back and said, well, let's set up a meeting. And I said, well, let me know. I'm coming to DC. And they was like, no, we'll come to you. They came to my home. I put together a little slideshow for about 5 minutes.
You put some crackers and Swiss cheese and apple juice on a platter.
Right. We sit in my living room in Owens Mills, and they was like, these images are amazing. How can we get those? And I said, well, if you got an external hard drive, I will politely give them to you today. And they pulled out an external hard drive. I gave it to them, and I gave them 1,100 images that I had never gave to anybody else. And they chose 22 of those photos. The first exhibition, I had 6 images posted in that exhibition, which was called Through the Lens. And then, let's see, about 6 months ago, I got a text. Hey, I forgot to tell you, your work has been featured again, but now they turned your photo into a mural in the entrance at our newest exhibition in the Smithsonian. I said, huh? And he said, let me give you a little picture. And I seen the picture, but the picture really didn't give it any justice to really how big it was. And I actually went there on my honeymoon, and I was just blown away how big it was. And, I asked the guy, like, what made you reach out to me for the second time to do this? And he said, well, the first time you had an option to get paid for the photo or to gift it to the Smithsonian. I chose to gift it to the Smithsonian because, again, it's not about the money. And because of that, every time he reached out
Hold on. I guess because you chose not to take the money because it was an option to get money or not get money. And what I found in my little journey is, if there's ever an option, do you want us to be in a relationship, or do you want me to pay you? The relationship. And they're not going to say relationship. They're just going to say, do you want to pay to be not? That not is always going to be worth more than getting paid.
Yeah, because that relationship has opened up doors for yet the second one. And anything that comes where he can present me with an opportunity, he always opened up the door for me. And it's because there's a lot of other people I know that took the money. And then they got that one-time ride and that's it. But for me, like you said, it's all about relationships. Even though they didn't present it that way, they put that out there to see what your response would be. My response, I thought like long term. I never think short term because short term holds no value and it's a one time thing. Yeah, you can give me a bag for $10,000 for one picture, or let me keep being featured in the Smithsonian. And it is crazy because somebody sent me a picture today in front of that mural, and they asked me. Sent me two pictures. One of the mural. Two, it was a picture of a guy standing in front of it, and it didn't dawn me that the guy in that picture is actually the guy standing in front of the picture. They seen my name, they searched my name, and they found me on Instagram. And now they're trying to purchase that picture. She's trying to surprise him because she said this picture needs to be in my home.
Might need to be an NFT.
And I was like, well, I really never sold this picture because it was there, but I would. But I'm telling you, it's a limited edition. It's only one of 5 available. So you do have the opportunity to purchase, especially because the person was in it. But that, again, another opportunity came out of because I didn't. And I'm sure this won't be the first or the last person that will reach out to me that's seen that photo in the Smithsonian.
And it's not about, and don't get us wrong, folks. We're not saying, oh, never take money for your work. That's not what we're saying. We're saying that when doors are being opened for you and opportunities to grow and develop and have new lanes open up to you, don't close that off for a chat.
Right, because, I mean,
how many times have people, like, they told you, oh, that put a bad taste in my mouth because they was all about money?
That happens a lot because sometimes as creatives, not just as creatives, just business owners, we so concerned on the bag and not the relationship.
Now, if you know what I learned, people, if you charge enough money for your work, the regular work that you get, you'll be okay when the opportunity comes. You can afford to do stuff for free. Like some of my biggest opportunities, I don't charge what I'm supposed to charge because God has allowed the opportunities for me to charge what I'm supposed to charge to the people that I'm normally working with. You feel what I'm saying? And I think, and I learned that from you, like charge what you're going to charge. And if you feel an opportunity to give somebody a break on something, you can do that, but charge what you're supposed to charge.
Yeah, and that's another thing. We have to not devalue. Yeah, we love the impact and all that stuff, but at the same token, don't devalue yourself. Don't lower your costs just to get paid.
Not doing it.
Because
I don't have to, we don't have to, like, I can be friends with you. We don't have to work if you want it cheaper than I'm willing to do it for. We don't have to work. We can just be cool. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, so, it's all about a balance. You have to understand when an opportunity presents itself that's more valuable than that bag real quick. But then also there's times where the bag is there for you to get it, but you can't sell yourself short because what happened is if you got a high-level client, let's say Nike reach out to you, and you're going to say, oh, my shoe start at $400. Do you think Nike going to hire you? Absolutely not. Not when Nike used to paying $25,000 to $30,000 for one campaign, 1 hour session. They're used to it. Why? Because that's an investment for them, and they definitely going to get a return on it. So when you lowball yourself for $400, they not gonna take you serious. No matter if they looked on your IG and seen beautiful photos, they're gonna say, "Oh, well, this person, their standards are way."
I'm pretty sure they're not gonna deliver at the level that we need it delivered for if they can do what we need them to do for $400.
Exactly.
And so that goes for photographers, videographers, graphic designers, audio techs, whatever creative space that you're in. You might be creating stuff for the metaverse. I don't know what it is, but don't undervalue yourself. Don't do it. So I'm gonna ask you this last question, bro, and we're gonna get out of here. And I saw this on another podcast, and I wanted to chop it up with you about it. Would you rather talk to yourself from 10 years ago or speak to yourself from 10 years in the future?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think I would rather speak to myself 10 years in the future.
Why is that?
Well, because going back and talking to myself 10 years is only telling myself where I'm at right now, what I would have done differently. But one thing that I learned in life is everything you go through or have been through is to set you up for where you're going. So I don't want to go back and change anything, or all the lessons that I went through. They actually put me in the position that I'm in right now. So going back telling myself, oh, don't do this, or you should have did this, you should have did that, or well, you should do this versus doing that. No, because God has ordained my life. So everything that I needed to go through in the last 10 years, I went through for a reason, a season, and for a lesson.
Wow, that's good. Like I was thinking definitely talk to myself in the future, but then I was also thinking, where would I be now if I went back and said, yo, don't do this, do that, quit your job earlier. Don't worry about what's happening. Be ahead of the curve. Be able to say, you know what? Buy NFTs now. Buy Bitcoin now. Like if I was able to, but then I'm thinking about the money situation, and everything ain't money. And I'm thinking, have I enjoyed my life up until this point? Yes. Do I enjoy the people that I'm with? Yes. And one little thing that you do in the past, you know, we've all seen Back to the Future when they said, don't do anything when you get back there. Don't talk to nobody. Don't do anything because you're going to mess something up. And I wouldn't want to not be married to my wife. I wouldn't want to not have Aidan and Ashton. You feel what I'm saying? And one little thing I say to myself could change that. You feel what I'm saying? And since I don't know what's in the future, hey, come back and talk to me. Tell me what I need to buy now. What Bitcoins I need to, what crypto I need to buy now. But like, I mean, you on the same page, and that's why we bros. Listen, anything you want to say to people before we get out of here?
Make sure y'all.
Oh, let's show them the new book. Can we show them the new book?
Oh, sure. We got them on. We might as well. We got them on. We're gonna give y'all a sneak peek. Limited edition. Very limited edition. And I'm real talk. Like, there will be only 54 of these and 4 of these. I'm gonna give y'all like. First of all, check out the case. You know, so when you taking things to the next level, you got to think of every little detail. And because this is my first collection that I'm actually offering in a book or offering in general, period, I had to make sure that everything was high level. So first, let's just look at the details. It's just amazing. Shout out to Rock Mitchell, who helped me design this book, and my amazing wife, Ashley Gibbs. Look at this, the texture. You know, as a photographer, creative, these details matter. You can see the sheen on this. Look at
Listen, I held it.
Look at the fold.
It's nice.
This book is about 2.5 pounds.
And that's the small one.
And this is the small one. That's 8.5 by 11, which is still a good size. And then the larger one is 11 by 14. I'm just gonna give you a little sneak peek. I can't show you too much. And look. You can see from the side. Look how thick these pages are. That's one page.
Like I've seen books like this go for 1,100. Like the small one go for 1,100.
Yeah. So and you're actually buying 60 images, really more than that. It's 66 pages in this book. Out of the 66,
the Bible got 66.
64 of these are actual pages, but then there's pages that have multiple images. So let's just say if you buy one of these photos, let's say this photo, you would pay at least $600 for this photo if I was to sell it at this size. So this book is not that much. I ain't gonna tell no prices yet, but give me about 2.5 weeks. The website is actually in the makings now. All this will be on the website. By the fact, by the time y'all see this, it'll be like 1 week closer to being able to purchase this book off my new website. But you're definitely in for a treat. You could just look at the cover. Like, this became one of my favorite photos. And I got some amazing things that I'm working on that's going to go along with this collection that I haven't even leaked out yet. But I'm telling you, if you can get your hands on this collection, it's almost like buying an NFT. It's going to hold a value, and this is something that's going to last a lifetime. And look how thick it is. I'm going to end it on that note. I don't need to oversell it because the book is going to sell itself.
For sure. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's been another episode of the Social Advice Podcast with your guy, Rock Mitchell and Jimmy Gibbs. Listen, man, we want you guys to subscribe Of course, you can follow Jimmy. His information is on the screen. It's J_unique_I. You can follow me, Rock Mitchell. While you at it, follow our family over at Black Menswear. They the homies. Reach out to them. Follow what we're doing this year. We got, I think, 5 amazing stops this year. We go 6. We got a lot. So we got amazing stops. Let me just give them to you real quick. We got Louisiana. We got Baltimore. We got Ghana. We got Nigeria. We got Toronto. We got Dallas, and we got Miami. So, fellas, if you're watching this and you want to be a part of what we're doing, tap into weareblackmenswear.com so you can get that. Soon to be, you can tap into JermaineSGibbs.com, as well as if you want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me at rockmitchell.info, and we'll get back to you.